Joining us this intermission from the River Hut Goaltenders, that is Carter Hutton, and Huts, welcome.
Good to be here as always, Bob.
Always a pleasure to talk with you. We're getting now to what is the stretch drive in Hockey East. Final 10 games of the regular season, month of February and into March. Is the pressure on those that tend the net?
Yeah, I think the pressure's always on those guys tending the net, you know what I mean? Especially being the last line of defense. You know, you have a bad night, you know, your team's not going to win kind of thing. But that's, you know, something that comes with petition. I think, you know, me and Nevin really enjoy that, and that's why we thrive on that.
Is that one of the things almost that attracts you to the position? You want the pressure?
Yeah, you know, it's definitely something, you know, being in that situation, you know, you're definitely the guy in the light kind of thing. You're there all game. You know, if you have a bad game, like I said before, you know, your team's obviously pretty much not going to win unless they score a bunch. But the same thing, you know, you play for that. That's, for me, that the challenge is what, like, I love.
Pressure doesn't bother you?
Yeah, more or less, you know what I mean? Like, you learn to deal with it, right? Like, even if it's a game, you know, it's a game with kind of with nothing, same thing, but you get in those big pressure situations, that's what you play the game for, you know, being in there, you know, a packed house, crowd, in somebody else's rink, you know, all the pressure's on you, and going in there and stealing 2 points it's a great feeling.
Does it feel different going into BU in February than it might have in October?
I think it changes a bit, you know, not, like the game's still the same, but just that kind of, you know, the idea of now, you know, they're the number one team in the country, and right now, you know, we're battling trying to get in home ice advantage kind of thing for the playoffs, and, you know, every game's so important down the stretch, like you said, the home stretch here, but the game doesn't really change as much, just you know, the outlook of the game and how important it is. You know, we still approach things the same way and stuff like that, and it makes it so much fun going into that rink and that atmosphere, and, you know, downtown Boston on a Friday night against the number one team in the country, you can't really beat that.
Early this season, you got off to a terrific start. You had the ankle injury. You've come back. Do you feel you got back to where you wanted to be? Did you get back quickly?
Yeah, I feel like, you know, I came back there, and I played the game against BU, and I wouldn't say I was totally ready for that game kind of thing. I kind of got thrown to the wolves there a little bit, but Hammy went down. But, you know, that's something you deal with in that kind of situation. I felt good, but, you know, coming back into Chicago, and I think I was scratching the surface. I was right there. I still wasn't, you know, at my full potential, and I think I'm starting to, you know, really be there and stuff like that. Just, it's more the mental side. You know, you miss so much time, and you try to work out those kinks in practice, but when it comes to a game, you know, for me, like, that stuff kind of disappears when it comes to the game. When you get out there, it's just playing, you know, it's something you've been doing since you're a little kid kind of thing. I think it took me a little bit to get that total comfort level back, especially, I started the year pretty well, you know, a tough loss in Colgate, but Michigan State kind of, you know, springboarded me right into my year kind of thing. You know, I had a real good weekend out there, and I think now coming back, I got to see a lot of pucks coming back because Nevin was out, so I played majority of the games. It kind of got me right back to where I need to be, and the way we've been practicing and working out with our goaltending coach Walshy has really helped me to, you know, be back where I need to be and take the next step, you know what I mean? Because I don't want to be just where I'm at. I want to keep getting better and better. That's the key to winning in this league.
Particular aspects of your game that you're working on with goaltending coach Ed Walsh?
Yeah, lots of, like, with me, I'm kind of, you know, I'm a real quick goalie, athletic. I like to move around a lot and stuff like that, and almost trying to, with the way Nevin plays, Nevin's more kind of simplifies it. You know, he stays big, stays in position kind of thing. Not that my positioning is bad, but it's more, sometimes I'll get myself in trouble sliding a little too much. So I've really worked on staying compact and staying within my crease, but still being as quick as I can be, and I think it's really starting to pay dividends now working with him.
Is it tough to stay focused for 60 minutes?
Yeah, you know, I think you, like for me, I like to, you know, sometimes you drift away a bit. Like you're definitely always in the game kind of thing like that. What I work on a lot, especially even with Walshy now too, is like a red line in we play. So kind of when the puck's on the far end, you know, still paying attention, still focused, but as soon as they come red line in, that's when I'm out, I'm gapping out, I'm playing the rush, just like a normal rush, like I would in anything. And that's something I developed in practice, just having that focus throughout practice, which, like, you know, comes into the game. And other things I do, you know, if it's a TV timeout or a whistle, kind of sometimes I'll skate around, just keep myself loose. You know, you don't want to get in that still phase of just standing there for 60 minutes. And like even the game in Maine there, I didn't have as many shots as I'd like, but you go like that, and then all of a sudden we took a bunch of penalties, and they're coming, so their chances are right on a power play, so they're going to get a good look. And that's where, especially a game like that, we're dominating. The last thing I need to be is the guy that loses the game for us kind of thing, so I try to keep my focus where it needs to be so I'm fresh the whole time.
That first period, we outshoot them 15-2. I think at some point in the second period, it's like 20-2. The point is, you haven't seen much action. You've seen the puck just a few times. Is it difficult in that sort of situation to get into the rhythm of the game, to be comfortable making saves?
Yeah, I think, you know, it's that's definitely one where your like self-talk is real important, and trying to, you know, tell yourself stay in it kind of thing. And what I really like to do in a game like that is I'm not seeing as many pucks, and especially, you know, you see another goal at the other end playing great. He's playing standing on his head. The last thing I want to do is see him steal a game from us. So I try to, you know, get out there and play the puck and keep myself going, and I stay a lot, like I talk a lot and stay communicating, so it keeps me fresh, kind of skating and stuff like that. But that's, you know, you got to come up with those saves. You know, those are the games where, you know, the one maybe I only had, you know, 15, 16 shots kind of thing, but, you know, a couple saves that I did make, you know, it's kind of important turning points in the game kind of thing. That's the way I focus. I kind of just take those little victories along the way personally for myself, kind of to, like, you know, that's huge in those kind of games.
You like to get out and play the puck, almost we'll jokingly say like a third defenseman. Is this something you've always done, or is this something that you've added to your style as you've gotten older and more experienced?
I think when I was younger, I had a coach that was was a goalie. He played at Colorado College back home, and he kind of just always taught me. I was young. I must have been 10 or 11, and he just tried to work on getting me to shoot the puck on the glass. And then from there, I just kind of worked on, and it kind of progressed, obviously. At that age, I could barely get the thing off the ice. And then I came to junior, and I got to the point in junior where the game, I started to do better, like dominate games more and stuff like that, got better in my league. And I think with confidence, I got more aggressive, making plays and getting out there and helping out the defense. And so I think coming here, even my freshman year here, I felt the game was real fast. And I tried to get out there as much as I could, but at the same time, I'd be a little nervous, a little skeptical. But I think with maturity, with experience, now, I have a lot more confidence, and the defense know what I'm going to do. So they make my role a lot easier out there, getting out and play the puck. And I think it's a huge aspect of hockey nowadays.
Maybe a silly question, but a goaltender stick's not the easiest to handle when you're trying to handle the puck.
Yeah, it's definitely not. I think I'd rather have a player stick and player gloves on out there sometimes making plays. But you learn to simplify things. Like sometimes I used to get in the habit of shooting the puck harder on the glass, but sometimes even just making the light chip to a guy when we're fanning out and stuff like that is the big thing. It's not how high you can shoot it; it's making the right play.
Have you had the dream of scoring a goal when the other team pulls the goaltender?
Yeah, that'd be quite the thing too. It'd be something to talk about for years. But the last thing I want to do is step up and go to fire one and put a meatball up the middle and cough it up and tie the game up for the other team. But yeah, it's definitely something I'd think of. I'd definitely take a shot at it if I had a chance. But in the same manner, I'd rather just even chip the puck out of the zone. I'll take a win, and a win's just as good for me.
Everybody wants to play all the time. You, Nevin, Hamilton, thus I guess are rivals because if one of you is playing, the other is not. You're also good friends.
Yeah, we're real good friends. That's the funny thing too. We're both guys, we're both competitive people, and no matter what we're doing, we want to win and we want to play. Like I want to be the guy every night, just as much as he does. But like the biggest thing for us is it's college, it's hockey and stuff like that. But our friendship's something that's going to last for a long time. And no matter who gets to play, we're both working to play in that position. But no matter what happens, we're still going to be good buddies.
You're a goaltender, so I've got to ask, what's your favorite piece of equipment?
No, my favorite. Well, last year I said my jock, but I definitely have to say that's still
which is certainly understandable.
Well, certainly understandable too. Pretty well endowed too. So you know what I mean. We got to have to say my new helmet. I think it's pretty flashy. I like it. I got the fish on the back. It represents my fish derby, whatever. I talked about that before, but I just think the helmet. I think the helmets nowadays, it's so fun being the created and get it all set up and all the personal designs you get to do on everything like that. It's unbelievable nowadays. So I definitely have to say my helmet.
Do you have a role in designing it?
I did. I got to kind of work with the guy hand in hand. The guy at Pro Mass there. He did a real great job on it, and I think it turned out great. Like we have the new the new Riverhawk logo. I got to put on there, and I kind of got the whole ideas with him and sat down and we kind of designed what my ideas was. I sat down and told him what I think, and he told me what could kind of work, and it was real fun. It was the first time that I actually got to really sit down and really get in depth, and he did a great job with it.
Carter Hutton, a delight to talk with you. We will do this again. We wish you continued success. We thank you for your time.
Thank you very much, Bob. Good to be here.
That's Riverhawk goaltender Carter Hutton. You are listening to the Riverhawk Radio Network.